Midsummer, hot as heck, you're looking to catch and keep some fish. What lure do you choose? There's only one right answer.
Wake up in the morning, got nothing to do. Don't feel like doing nothing but to kick it with you.
Here's the popping cork we're gonna be using. It's a special kind of popping cork that's adjustable and removable. This is the Alameda Tackle popping cork. Since it is summer, I like this a lot because it has only a couple BBs in it, so it makes a high-pitched sound. And the fact that it's small and removable, we'll even be able to use this for wade fishing. We can just put this in our tackle bag. Whenever I bust this guy out when I'm fishing with my buddies, they call it the gas station popping cork. But hey, who catches more fish? All right, we out here on this flat. First off, we're gonna start drifting. I haven't been around this area too much lately, so first I wanna see if there are fish, and then we might hit the wade. We're gonna rig up our popping cork right now. We got two options, and we're definitely gonna go with the smaller one right now. Rig this popping cork up. Hold the line with your thumb right next to the cork. Give it 4 or 5 wraps. Push that line down, and then you're gonna be taking the top of that leader and forcing it through that little notch. Bang. Then you put the line through the middle slit, and then same thing at the bottom. You can do less, 3 or 4. And what you can do with the bottom wraps is you can use those to determine how deep you are. If you want to bring it up higher, you just put more wraps on the bottom. And on the bottom, we're going with this bad boy right there, cold DOA shrimp, man. And here's how I work the popping cork on the drift. Start off with a long cast. Hopefully you're kind of casting at something that looks good, maybe a pothole. Let it sit on the fall and then give it a couple pops. A pop or two every 2 seconds. I like to give it about 10 seconds, 10-12 seconds in the same spot. And if you made long enough casts, what you can do is, if you don't get bit, after those 10 or 15 seconds, you can give it a little reel in, get to a little bit different spot. Maybe something will chase it as you're reeling it in, but you also get a little bit of a different area. If you guys have a different way of working it on the drift, let me know. I'm happy to hear what you guys do. There he is. There's a guy. There's a guy. Dang, this might be a half decent trout. Maybe, it's always hard to tell. Nah, it's a dang redfish. Sheesh. Little red. It's always a little bit hard to tell with the popping cork. There's extra weight in there. What are you doing, little guy? You actually hooked one, left it in the same spot. Another guy came and got it. I'm trying to get some keepers today, so hopefully they get a little bit bigger than that. Let's take a look at the power of the popping cork while drifting. First, comparing to a typical soft plastic where you start off with a long cast and start retrieving back to yourself. To get a bite, the fish have to be in close proximity and usually have to see the bait. On the other hand, you have the popping cork. Give it a long cast, pop it to give it vibrations and sounds similar to feeding fish or jumping bait. This gives it the ability to track fish from much further away, and it gives them the time to actually come get it. And also has the added benefit of not catching a ton of grass if there is a lot of floating grass around. Whoa, that guy slammed it. Oh my, that's another red. Holy, a little bit bigger one too. Oh my gosh. Golly, he's fighting like crazy. On the popping cork especially, a lot of times it slows him down a little bit. I thought we were gonna get into some trout right here, but I'll take some reds too. Whew. Oh no, that's bad. Might break a rod here. Oh, classic under the boat, redfish. It's not a bad one. He'll reach 20. Probably want to close this so if it falls out, we don't lose every single lure we own. Just doing that mid-fish catch. Why not? Dang, lip hooked. Got that guy lip hooked. I was gonna say, usually when you hook them with this DOA shrimp, they can't get rid of it. That guy being barely hooked on the lip, he could have got it off easy. We messed up. 22, some 22 action. Well, I was expecting more trout, but instead we got the redfish. We're coming off the flat now, so we're gonna whip around, reset the drift, see what else this popping cork can do. Huh, I was gonna wait a little bit, but if we're catching them on the drift, easy peasy, we'll keep drifting. is. That's a trout. That's a trout. Off closer. Man, we drifted for a while with no bites. Oh, it's a red. No, it's a trout. It's a trout. It's a keeper trout too, I bet. Decent one. Let's go. We're coming close to the end of the drift here after doing a long drift. No bites. But now we got this decent trout on, dude. Let's get him around. See if we can bring him right to us. That's a decent trout. A spotty boy too. Oh, he almost came off, I think. Oh, we got him. Let's go. Dang, decent fish, man. That's a decent fish. I'll put him in 19. Wow, look at that. Woo, on the string. Oh, there he is. Oh, that's not the best hook set, but it's a freaking dink, so it doesn't matter. And that's why it wasn't a good hook set, because he had no weight to him. Usually these smaller ones, a lot of times these smaller ones actually have more spots, but he has a lot less than the big one we just caught. That boy will go fly into the frying pan, I'll tell you what. Just not in Texas. Shoot, not anywhere really. I don't think you can keep that one that small anywhere. Not even Louisiana. You know what let's do? I was kind of trying to wait for a little bit lower sun to start the wade, but let's get on the wade now, hit some shallower potholes that I think should have some fish. Rig up our small boat tether wading system. Whoa, the boat's taking off without me. Just tie it up, attach it to ourselves, and then we don't have to be far from the boat while we're waiting. Makes it nice because you don't feel bad about going on a long wade and having to walk all the way back, especially if you're not catching. Zero bites on the wade. Zero bites on the wade, fellas. I don't get it, but we go drifting again. Oh, that's a fish. Oh my God. That's gotta be another red. Dude, my reel is struggling a little bit, as you may be able to tell. I'm definitely gonna have to fully break this guy down, but for now we got a fish on. Even though the anti-reverse is going crazy. Oh yeah, I had some belief we could have had a trout there for a second. But this is no trout, fellas. This is no trout. Golly. For whatever reason, man, they're really just not up shallow. I mean, it makes sense. It's pretty hot out. But even when it has been hot, I've been catching them up shallow. So, not really sure why they're not there right now. But if they're not, it's fine. We'll come out here and get them. That's the best red of the day right there. Ha! And on the light tackle, they feel like giants, especially when you're drifting. You gotta fight the drift as well. But check it out. I was gonna sling him in, but with my luck, it would definitely break, even though it's a 20-pound line. We did get that guy on the Little John. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's a decent fish right there. Not a bad one. 22 and a half, 23 incher. Decent one. Bigger than the last one. No giant. But man, right here in this deeper water, I'm not sure I would want to throw anything else but the popping cork. The water here is a little bit dirtier out here, and we're moving fast. That popping cork can help them find it. Did I clap it up? I could clap it up, but I'll probably forget anyway. Cork's definitely the way to go, man, on these super hot days, especially when you're fishing midday like me right now. It's time to cook them up! What we're gonna be making is Tuscan redfish in a cream sauce. I know what you're thinking, they don't have redfish in Italy, but they don't have salmon over there either. What point am I making? I don't know, but it is always special to take fish you caught yourself and then incorporating them into different recipes. The cool thing about this dish is it seems like a fancy dish, but it's actually pretty quick and super easy to make. Starting off by just seasoning our fillets with a little bit of salt and pepper. Of course, flipping them to get both sides. You can see how I cut the fillets in half as well. This is just gonna make them fit better in the pan, but the front and back half of the fillets have different thicknesses, so this will let us cook them evenly. Now we're starting off our pan with a little bit of oil, using canola oil just as a neutral oil, on medium to medium high heat. Then our fillets just go straight in. Like I said, we do have them cut in half, so we can stagger them. The thicker halves are gonna go a little bit longer. Just because they are thicker, they're gonna take a little bit longer to cook through. And we're not fully cooking the fillets here. They're gonna be going into a cream sauce after and simmering. So we're only gonna be cooking these for a minute and a half on each side. And of course we did catch some redfish on the smaller end of the slat. So if you do catch some bigger ones, you may have to go a bit longer. Fillets come off and we can just put those aside. A little bit of butter in the pan. Now we're gonna take a second to prepare our tomatoes, garlic, and green onion. We're using cherry tomatoes and we're just gonna be having them. There's a lot of quicker ways to do it, but the way I'm gonna be doing, one at a time with a knife. It's the best way for smooth-brained individuals like myself. Next up, we have 3 cloves of garlic. You can mince them up with a knife if you want, but the best thing is just using a microplane. Takes care of it real quick. Finally, we have a little bit of spring onion or green onion as I'm using. For this dish, I like to have pretty thin slices. And we'll be lowering the heat to a medium low. Once that butter is melted, we're going in with some spinach. And with the spinach, it is gonna be simmering after we fry it right here. So I just like to give it a really quick little toss. Honestly, just about 20-30 seconds. And at the same time, we can add our tomatoes, green onions, and garlic. Then once we have those going a little bit, we're just gonna add just about a cup of heavy cream or heavy whipping cream. And just get that warmed up. As our cream's warming up, a little bit of seasoning, salt and pepper. Now that we got the cream warmed up, we're going in with a little bit of Parmesan cheese, grated or shredded. I used to think I didn't like Parmesan cheese, but that's just because I used to have it out of that little can when it's like powdered. Never liked it, but this shredded Parmesan cheese, pretty good, man, pretty good. And you just want to get that melting down in there. Got our cheese melted down, and now we can just go back in with our fillets. Then just set your pan for a simmer, and then we'll have this going for 2 to 4 more minutes. There it is, fellas. Beautiful, isn't it? Actually, looks pretty incredible. The ultra traditional Tuscan redfish. Just a little bit of lemon right on top of the fillets. And that's gonna be perfect, man. I'm telling you, this is gonna be good. It's got all the colors you need, a little bit of red and a little bit of green with those fillets. Very good, dude. It's freaking good, dude. Super traditional too. That's what I love. Obviously not a dish specifically made for redfish, but redfish goes incredibly well with cream and lemon as well. Take that meal right there just from one redfish and you've got enough to feed at least 2 people, especially if you work in a little bit of pasta there. Once I tasted it, you know I had to eat all of it, but it's okay because I'm a growing young man, all right? I love you guys very much. Stay safe. We'll talk to you guys next time.